What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this podcast episode. Today, I'm going to talk about landing pages for pay-per-click marketing. So as you've noticed on the series I've been doing, I'm talking a lot about Google AdWords marketing, and I covered some other key components of being successful with Google Ads. And today I'm going to talk about landing pages and what makes a good landing page, what should you not do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're not familiar with internet marketing, basically you spend money. That's the first thing. And when you spend the money, you're basically buying eyeballs, and you're going to send the eyeballs, people in this case, to a website, right? Or they're going to call a phone number. Most likely it's going to be a website. And if we're in the real estate investing business, our goal is to have our website capture that person as a lead, right? So there's two ways they're going to become a lead. They're either going to fill out a form on your website, which I'll talk about, or they're going to call a phone number, which is specifically for that website, right? So when it comes to having Google Ads be successful, half of the battle is having a good landing page. Because if you have great targeting, if you're doing really specific keyword campaigns, but you have a terrible website you're sending that traffic to, people are going to click, and then they're going to go to your website, and then they're not going to do anything, aka bounce from the website, and you're going to spend all this money and you're going to get no leads. So what makes up a good website? The first thing is that it's got to be effective on mobile, right? 90% of the traffic in this day and age is on mobile, right? So people are on their iPhones or their Droids, and they're typing in keywords, and it's coming up on their phone. So you always want to make sure your site looks really good on mobile. And obviously it should look good on a desktop as well, but you got to understand most of the people searching you are going to be on the phone. So it's got to look good on mobile. The second thing is it has to be very simple, and there has to be a clear explanation on what your company does. And in this case, buying houses for cash, right? That's the most important thing. It's got to be simple. You don't want to have a crazy amount of copy on the landing page for PPC. You want it to tell a little bit of information about what you do, and then you want to have calls to action, right? You want to have forms, at least 2 or 3 forms on that landing page that someone can fill out: name, email, address, phone number, etc. And then you obviously want to have your phone number visible on that page too, maybe in 3 or 4 locations. There's a call here, you can call in the middle, you can call at the end, but you want to have your phone number, and you want to have form fills. You want to have forms, at least 2 or 3 forms on your website so people can obviously fill out the form. Another thing that's important, and this is what's really happened in our PPC campaign, like if you go to simplefasthomeoffer.com, you can actually see my landing page. There's a video, right? So I believe you want to actually put a video on your website. And it doesn't have to be a crazy video. You just could be you explaining how the process works. In my case, it's me in a house in Chester, New York, and I'm explaining to the camera how I bought this house, how I helped the homeowner, how they benefited from it. So someone like goes to the website, they see the video, they watch the video, like, oh, this guy seems like a normal guy. All right, that builds some credibility. It builds some trust, kind of is relatable, right? So you want to have a video, at least one video. And once we put a video on our site, it like boosted our conversion rate like tremendously. And then you also want to make sure, if you can like basically merge in your Google reviews so they show on your website. So like we have a plugin on WordPress that my guy does, and it shows all the Google reviews so people can see that we're a legit company. We have very good reviews because we do what we say we're going to do, right? On top of that, you want to also try, if you can, to get a seller testimonial video. So we were able to do that after we bought this house in Delaware, and we got the seller to send us a selfie video of him explaining his process, which also could help with conversion. Because if a seller is like maybe not sure about you, and then they see that video about, that guy's name was Walter, he gave a 1-minute long video on his experience, a genuine experience with us, and that could get somebody over the edge from filling out a form or calling to not, right? Which could be the difference of a deal or not a deal, right? So in summary here, you got to make sure the website's good on mobile. You got to make sure it's simple and doesn't have too much information on there, because it'll just get people confused and they'll bounce. It's got to have at least 2 forms. It's got to have the phone number in a few places. And you want to make sure that you put a video on your website so people can kind of see you or a customer. And also you want to have the review plugin as well, so people can see that this is a real thing and it's not a scam. So lastly, I'll end with this. In PPC, Google AdWords, if your website converts at 10%, I would say that's standard and very acceptable. So that just means, in other words, every 10 people that come to your website, 1 person will fill out a form or 1 person will call you. right? If 100 people come to your website, 10 people will fill out the form, 10 people will call you. You want to set that as a baseline. I think our website is like 12% right now, and I think in New York it might be 14. So it's a little bit better than normal. I think it's because of the video. So those are things to look out for if you want a website that performs well for Google Ads. If you got value from this today, if you can like the video on YouTube or leave me a review on iTunes, that would really mean a lot to me. And if you want a JV deal with me, or you want to wholesale me a house and you're in New York or you're in Delaware, send me an email, greg@velocityhousebuyers.com. That's GREG at VELOCITYHOUSEBUYERS.com. Or you can send me a message on Instagram at Grego_37, and I'll see you on the next podcast episode.